Hello, YouTube modeling community. This is Rusty Rotor with, I guess, my show hauls, all the stuff I got at the show, and all the hardware I got. First, I want to thank each and every subscriber to my channel. I appreciate y'all very, very much. And I had the pleasure to actually meet up with Dave, and he has some amazing, I don't know, emergency vehicles, I guess you would classify it as. Some beautiful police cars. One that he converted from a 2-door to a 4-door, which was simply amazing. I've always wanted to try that just to see if I could pull it off. A fire truck that was absolutely gorgeous. He had a friend with him who also has some amazing builds, and it was just fun sitting there talking to him, getting to know him a little bit, and getting to see their work. Along with Tim from Throttle Power, I got to talk to Tim for probably about 5-10 minutes, maybe tops. It was really good seeing him again. I usually see him at all these shows, and of course the big shows. But it's always a pleasure each time I get to meet up with him and talk to him. Also, Mark from Hobby Nut Models was there. I got to talk to him for a little while. The president of my actual club here in Kentucky is also STS Decals. If you guys have ever heard of him, he's on Facebook. I'll show his card here in a few minutes. Great decals. He had a lot of aftermarket stuff. I wasn't even aware that he had the aftermarket stuff. So, learn something every day. But I did get some stuff from him too. We'll look at that. So it was good to hang out with him. And then another club member was there also. And then my good friend Mike, Mr. Mike Williams, he cleaned house. When I saw that he was there, I got really scared because I'm like, my stuff does not compete with his. I mean, it does, but it's not that he's a different type of builder. He is to a degree, but his work is just flawless, and I admire his work. Great guy. We've been friends for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, going on 4 years. We communicate via text all the time. When we're at a show that we can meet up, we hang out the whole show. It was nice getting to meet his wife this time around. So yeah, and there's a lot of other guys that I saw that were there that I've heard about. I've seen pictures of their work, so that was really cool. Some great vendors. A couple of vendors are supposed to start following the channel, which is great. Look forward to further communication with them. I also found my Holy Grail. I wasn't there, but I just said the word. Here we go. Drawing blanks. One of the vendors has the 61, 62 F85 Cutlass wagon, or Olds wagon, whatever you want to call it. It's the Johan kit. His prices were very fair. So he's supposed to be sending me pictures via email of the kit that I was interested in. I think he has 2 or 3 of them. And so I can make the decision on to purchase it or not, which, if it's right and the price is still good, I will be purchasing it because it's well worth it. As you know, it's always in the back of my head, constantly weighing on me. You got to get this kit. You got to get this kit. You've got this design in your head. This isn't a replica build. This is something right out of my head. It will be pretty much full detail. It'll be built to show, and something that I'll work on steadily along with everything else, not just here and there. It'll be steadily. Same way it's that Trans Am that I started. I need to get it out and get going on it steadily also, as well. But that being said, I did get a few kits, some great parts, a bunch of other stuff, and we're going to look at all that here in a second. The 32, the first time out, floored me. I took first place in that division, which was street rods. There's a lot of great models in that division. There's, I think, 3, 4. There's 5 or 6 of us on that table. I could have probably just mopped up in that division. I didn't bring a third one to put in that category. I did bring two, the Willys and the 32. The Willys pulled third place. The guy that beat me out, his had working headlights and nice paint job. So, I mean, I get it. There's differences that kind of pop and the judges like to see and, wows them. So, but both of these were, people just constantly standing around them, looking at them at every angle, all the detail, which is what I really appreciate the most. It wasn't about the trophies. Everybody hopes that they win something. There's a lot of people that are very competitive. My friend Lee Barrett, he goes to a show to win. He doesn't go to a show to take, he wants to place. If it doesn't get nothing, then he's not happy. And that's fine, if that's what you build for. And he doesn't ever believe me when I tell him that I don't really care. I go to the show for the atmosphere, to find stuff that I need or I want, meet great people, talk models, and just look at all the cool builds on the tables. I didn't get to look at a lot of stuff. At the end of this video, there'll be a slideshow of the models. A couple of mine are in there too, but mostly of Mike's. Mr. Williams, he's not on social media that I'm aware of. I think he peruses through Facebook for things, but he is well aware of what's out there in the interwebs as far as parts and stuff like that. Just true one-of-a-kind builder. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. I tried to get Big Will to go with me. He was already tied up with plans from previous dates, so he wasn't able to go with me. I knew it'd be a super long drive to ask Jay to come down and go with me to the show, but I went down by myself this time. My wife had other things she had to do to get ready for our granddaughter's birthday party yesterday, which was a success. It overwhelmed her, and she was floored by it. Her theme was Barbie, and I think I blew up at least 60, 70 balloons. We custom made a actual Barbie box like the Barbies come in, so all the kids could stand in it and get their picture taken. We had the pool set up, the trampoline with the water thing on it, and I've built a sandbox a year or so ago. Yard, kids run around, they all had a blast. Great food, great family, and a lot of good friends showed up to celebrate her day. So that was fantastic. What else? Of course, with all that going on, I didn't get to work down here at all. I did do a little work on the Corvette. I'll show you that right now. It's probably going to be hard to see, but that is a scratch-built intake. Get to focus. And there's a bracket that leads to each carburetor, throttle body, I guess you'd call it. And there's a little photo etched bolt on it. We will, further down the road, I'll get up closer with a better angle and you'll be able to see all that detail. But that took me about an hour because I use the sprue. Like I said, I always reuse everything. So you get a little sprue with all your photo etched stuff on it. Well, those little thin pieces of metal, if you cut them, they can be used for folding over to make a clamp. And in this case, the brackets that mount the fuel rail to the top of the intake. And of course, you use a little photo etch screws or bolts or whatever for the final detail. Well, all that's on there. Now, it's not perfect. It's not 100% clean. There you can kind of see it. Maybe if you watch this on your phone, you can blow it up. Try to get it there. Lights will be more, or a better angle. So now at the end of each one of these tubes, it gets an A&N fitting. That's what I'm waiting on from RB Motion. But they are a month behind. So I'm just kind of trying to go ahead where I know I can come back and add these, because these two front ones, whoops, right here. These two front ones come down and go back up underneath the intakes, or the throttle bodies, back to a fuel block. And then that line goes to, these lines go to a fuel block to the fuel pump, and then the front ones come down and feed back to the back and goes to the return line back to the gas tank. So it's got an in and an out. So once we get that, we can get that detail on there. We've got the pulleys on, the belts, everything's done, detail painted. There's not a lot of just like I normally do. We will wire the alternator And I'm not sure about the power steering pump yet. If I can't even get in there to drill holes now to put lines on. So we'll probably opt that detail, and you're not going to be able to see it because it's so tight in the engine compartment. So anyways, that's where we're at with the Corvette. Just kind of keep you updated. It is coming along very nicely. I'm happy with the look. Again, I'm not going for perfection, even though I'm building it for a show. It's just one of those things. I'm just having fun building it, and really, that's all what it's all about. To me, it looks good, and at the end of the day, it's my model. I'm not building it for somebody else or anything else. It's being built for me. So I'm learning new things constantly every day. How to stretch my scratch building skills. And that's the best part about model cars. You learn from each one you do, and where you make mistakes or you struggled, and then you try it again. It gets easier. It gets easier, and your brain starts flowing smoother, and you're able to obtain, what you had out here, in the real world. So that's really good. Again, guys, just stay tuned for the Corvette build and all the other ones. This is the model show I went to. They have 2 every year. One is February 17th. That's kind of early spring. And then summer, which is July 15th. Great club, great host, cheap food, and good food. They had fried shrimp, onion rings, french fries, hot dogs, brats, mets, hamburgers, nachos, the staples, popcorn, bags of chips, that kind of stuff. Drinks, $1 for a drink. You can't beat that. I believe they even have wine. So that was cool. I mean, you get buggered up on, booze. No drama at the show that I was aware of. It seemed like everybody was having a great time, getting along, meeting each other, talking to the vendors. People just swarming around the builds, looking at them, taking their pictures. I've only seen a little information on this show, and that was from Tim at Throttle Power. So if you get a chance, go to Throttle Power's channel, watch his 2 videos. One's about the vendors, and the other one's about the actual models on the table. I'm not for sure exactly how many models were on the table, but there was, dioramas, there was military, there was, all the categories for cars, the youth. A lot of youth turnout this time, which was fantastic. And a lot of young gentlemen won awards. So that was great. When you win an award, it's a motivation, of course, to one-up yourself, do better. These young men did a fantastic job of the things that they built, bar none. When I looked at it, I was like, why is this stuff on the youth table? This is not youth builds. But it was. Blew me away. There's a category for unfinished builds. I agree with it, but I don't agree with it. But, at the end of the day, at the stages they are, you can pretty much tell how they're going to turn out without seeing the paint jobs and all that. But you can see that it's a really big thought out process on how they want it to look and how it's going to function. That part of it is what I agree with. I got to see somebody's thought process started. It's not finished, but it's going to be beautiful when it's done. Even if they screwed the paint up, it's still going to be a beautiful build because of what all they put into it. So that's the part that I agree on. You let me know your thoughts about that down below. And today's youth, I got competition just in the youth category. It's crazy. So these young boys and girls are really focused and dedicated to what they're doing and detail oriented. So that's amazing. The box stock area was fantastic. There were some beautiful box stock builds there. Just clean, pristine, everything like it's supposed to be, the right colors, built perfect, no flaws, just beautiful work. That's not even getting into the commercial vehicles and all that detail. And there was one, I guess it would be a diorama or maybe a vignette. It's a welder working on sheet metal on a vehicle, and the welder's arcing, like, there's a little LED light in it, but still the realism of it, the guy sitting there, you can see the flash of the welder. That was cool as hell. The thought process and that, and the determination to get it to work right and look right and not be all flubbered up, trying to hide the wire. Fantastic. I could go on for hours about everything I saw there. It was just a fantastic show. I had a great time. I got to walk around a lot. I had to sit down a lot too, so of course I missed out on a few things. But overall, this show was a good kind of warm-up session to be going to Acme, because that one I want to rest up as much as I can. Therefore, I can be more active as much as I can. I would still have to sit down and take a break because I'm not, a couple hours and I'm wiped out. So there'll be lots of ups and downs for Acme. But I intend to do a lot more. And I'm only taking 2 builds, maybe 1. If I can't get the Corvette done in time, it'll just be the 32 Roadster. And would it be on a level of competition down there? I mean, to a degree, but no. There's a lot better builds than this one out there. But it was great, first time out, it took first place. You're going to get to see the trophies here in a second. I took 4 builds. Out of the 4, 3 won. The one I was hoping to finally get some hardware on, it didn't, and it got damaged on the way back somehow. I don't know, but it's an easy fix, so nothing drastic. But yeah, I'm happy with the results overall. So we'll turn this around real quick. We'll look at the hardware and the models. The model is in front of its trophy, so you guys will know which one, and I'll try to get down in there where you guys can see the writing on the trophies. So hang on just a second. Here we go. All right. There's the Blue Rat. That's what we took. Now keep in mind, the Blue Rat was a long bed truck. I converted it to a short bed. So, the work involved in just that alone is hard as crap. The interior is about 95% scratch built. I mean, that's from engraving the seats to the design. It's supposed to be the scratch built console, the shifter, the door panels, all that was all scratch built. There's some scratch building underneath the hood. Prone to Mobius kits. The hood doesn't want to sit right. I need to put another little piece of thin styrene underneath the front of the hood, because it will, if you push it down, it does fit. I'm going to try to heat it a little bit too, and then hold it in place, see if that helps. You guys remember the front of the truck. Take that off there. The front of the truck, that chin spoiler scratch built. The fog light in the front is scratch built. We converted it from a 71 Ranger to a 67 F100. This was built to replicate a real truck. There's a lot of detail underneath the hood. Some scratch building as well. It just didn't place. But my good friend Mike was in that category. And when I saw that, and then there was 2 other trucks that was in that category that were equally as nice, if not a little nicer than mine, I knew I wasn't going to place high in that category. But, everybody got to see the truck. And that's what was most important. So, cool truck. The Willys took 3rd place. You can see down here in the street rod. Scoot this up a little bit. Street rod category. So that's the 2nd piece of hardware it's taken. So it's going to retire now to its forever home up on the shelf with its hardware. I'll no longer show this vehicle. So if you want to see it, you're going to have to go back and watch this video. But you can see the amount of details in it. All that. The blower hold down is all scratch made. The cage for the blower belt is scratch built, other than the photo etch plate. It's got full of A&M fittings everywhere. Scratch built fuel lines, custom bent into a fuel block back here. MSD distributor. All the nuts and bolts on that engine are all photo etch. Every little thing, valve cover wise, blower, front front plate of the blower, all those bolts are all photo etched. Underneath the oil pan, get up there close. The trans pan and the oil pan, those are all photo etched bolts on everything. Everywhere should have a bolt is photo etched. Double fuel filter right there, of course, right by the exhaust, so you blow yourself up. Didn't think that went through all the way. Then we kind of just accented a little red into the build by making the links for the 4-link red, and everything else aluminum. Differentials painted to match the body because it is a show car, pro street thing. And then I had to custom cut the hood. If you remember, guys, that's I think it's like a 4-stage paint. I start off with silver Createx, transparent turquoise, and then pearl turquoise. And that's what gave that color. It looks like an anodized finish when you're looking at it in person. The flames are decals. That was the hardest decal that I ever laid. And it's not perfect, but it does look pretty good. And then again, it's also the way the decal's designed. It doesn't hug and fit like it's supposed to either. But overall, it turned out great. The colors together turned out beautiful. The interior is just detail painted. Pretty much all stock. I added a shifter. And a console. And a few other little things. Bells and whistles in there. But yeah, I'm glad, it placed again. It just lets me know that, it was a good build after all. It's kind of reassurance. And like I said, this one will retire. There's the 32. I'm so happy with this build. Tickled pink. Thrilled with it. Perfect paint job. Is it going to win best overall paint? No, never, because it's really just two-toned. It's just the way the light hits it, you see it. It's no crazy, fancy anything. It's just a straight-out paint job, but it's super clean other than dust particles I can see that are arriving here and there. But you can see it all together. A lot of scratch on every screw on that framing for those door panels has a photo etch on it. So this was looked over really, really hard. And I think it was a really hard decision between this and one other one. Just going on what I saw and the way they were talking, that would have taken best of show. The other guy won, but I think this was the strong contender for that. And best Ford. So, she didn't get all that, but hopefully she'll get it at another show. She's going to Acme. I'll take her to a few other shows, probably in Ohio next year, or this fall, I would say, close to winter, and see how she does. She may not get nothing, which is fine too. And then Project Weed Whacker, the shop truck. Full custom interior, a lot of scratch building, kit bashing went into that interior. The engine is a, let me get this right. I'm almost positive it was a 327. And then we put a tri-power on it. That is a off the sprue setup. Along with the air cleaners, I scratch built the solenoid. I scratch built the battery tray. Everything is plumbed for the air ride and for the engine. Spark plug wires, that is a Morgan's Automotive distributor, along with an Excel coil, power coil over here. You look down in there, it's got the braided radiator hoses. The alternator is wired. The overflow bottle, I'll flip it over here. That is all hand bent exhaust. And then Flowmaster mufflers. And the air ride, the air suspension is all plumbed. There's the second battery back here, which is plumbed and wired with battery hold down from Detail Master. You see the airbags. It's hard to see them. But there's one of the airbags, and they are, there's hoses hooked to each airbag and come back to, there's a valve that you can't see. I wish I could have made it more visible. But you can see the air, I guess you can. There's the air lines coming into the spur valve, and then hard line to the tank. Each compressor is wired, feeding off that back battery. It's got a Detail Masters real wooden bed kit with the rails. These are 3D printed inner fenders. I can't remember where I got them, but they turned out really good. They've got like a sunrise appearance on there. The frame is a drop frame, SCC frame. Also came from the same guy as these. I just can't remember his name, and I wish I could to shout him out, but it is what it is. And then the tailgate's got some pinstriping on it, front and back, to match. Tail lights, backup lights, and then, of course, the custom license plate frame and custom tailpipes. So she took third place in the light truck SUV van category. Mike took first place, and the other gentleman, his name was Jacob, he took second place. But all of us well deserved on that one, because I put a lot of work in this truck, and I'm glad it placed. It will go to 1 or 2 more shows with me, along with the Blue Rat, until I can pull a trophy or a plaque for that one. That kind of makes it, because that is a replica build, and the gentleman is thrilled with it. Maybe one day I may gift it to him. I'm still kind of very fond of it, so it'd be hard for me to let go of it. But overall, guys, that's all of them. There's the hardware. And, now we're going to amp up and gear up for Acme. I'm pretty much done with all the honeydew list other than the normal things of life. Oh, by the way, Weed Whacker now earned his own display case. I've got a funny little method. So if I pull a model out of the big display case and I take it to a show and it places, it goes into its own display case. That way the hardware can sit next to it and it can be displayed that way. It's kind of like, you graduated, I get to move out from here and tucked in with a bunch of other models. I can get my own space and my own little showroom, or own area on the floor in the showroom, so to speak. So yeah, I've got it set up ready to go here. So when I'm done with this video, I'm going to get them put back in their display cases, get the Blue Rat repaired. It'll go back in the display case because it's not pulled a trophy yet. I also have one other car in the display case that did pull a plaque. It won best overall engine. The best of is a big deal. And to me, that is a replica build of my own car. And for it to pull best engine, that was great, because the main guys in the hobby, or the club, were floored. He said, man, I was looking for the key so I could turn and start the thing. And that's true. It's a compliment to me, and as muchly as I can possibly appreciate it. It shows a little reward for my effort. Even if it was just recognized and I didn't get a plaque, that is just as good also, because it means to me, what I'm doing kind of matters, but yet it's wow, how did he do that? What did, that's what I like, people to ask, how did you do that? What, because I'll share. I'm not stingy on knowledge at all. I believe everybody should be able to do what I do at the level I do it at. And I don't even really know what level I'm at. Guys ooh and ah say, oh man, that's great. Speaking of, there was another young gentleman I met at the show. He's a lot younger than me, but he's not young. He's, I think, in his 30s, maybe 31 years old. Single guy, but loves tuners. And I can appreciate those tuners from here to eternity, because what these guys are doing to them and what they've been doing to them. But that's the class he was in, and he took 2 trophies home. First out of the gate, I think it was the first time showing him, or maybe it's the second time he's been to a show. And he finally took some hardware home, and they were great builds. Were they just filled with tons of detail? No, but there was a lot of detail there. And anybody that knows a model, you know what comes with the kit. And it's not built box stock, it is customized. Therefore, there's a lot of other stuff put into this build. And that's how he did these, and they were beautiful. One was a Honda Civic, and the other one was I think it was a replica of probably a rally car, or a whatever those tracks are called they race them on. It was a Marlboro car. Beautiful, beautiful builds. I tried to pump him up, get his confidence going, because they were well deserved. And me and him sat together while we're waiting for them to get done judging. And I said, man, don't worry, those are good. You should get something. And sure enough, he did. He took 2 trophies home. So kudos to him. I can't remember his name. So if you watch, buddy, please email me your name and everything. That way I can correctly shout your name out. But again, overall, a great show. And I did get quite a bit of stuff. I did go shopping. So I was bargain shopping. Remember the balling on the budget. I didn't have a lot of money to spend, but I had a little bit of money to spend, and I was looking for certain things, and I did find a 65 Corvette. It's pretty much all here, everything I need, but I'm going to be customizing it anyway, so some of the stuff I don't even need that, is even there. The main stuff I need is there. But, what did I pay on it? $5. It does say complete, but I think it's missing a couple little things, but it's not a big deal. The bumpers and the grill and the side skirts, all that's there, and that's all that matters. And I'll strip this down anyways and re-chrome it myself. One of my favorite vets. Bad boy's 57 years old, just like me. It's just a beautiful car. I wish I had deep pockets so I could buy a real one, because I would have one sitting in my driveway out here. And, kept in the garage and take it out on the weekends. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to building this here in the future. Won't be anytime soon, but, And if you recollect, guys, I've talked about it, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. Ring Brothers is one of my favorite automotive designers as far as the custom world. They pump out some amazing, beautiful cars, and I love building replicas of them because they are just unique and different. One being one of my holy grails, which was the Javelin. The Ring Brothers Charger. The words Captive is the name of it. And then the 69 Cougar. If you guys are ever on their page and you look at it, it's the like forest green or British Racing green Cougar. I believe it's got beige interior. I'm not positive, but I've always wanted to build a replica of that because it would look pretty simplified. It wasn't big mods, and I'm going to have to do a lot of custom work to it. I can pretty much change a few things, add a few things, and get the look of that car. I got this for $10. The guy wanted 15. I asked him to take 10. He said yes, so we got it. And it's been started. We'll pull out of the box here real quick. I mean, it's been started. It's been slammed the way they did it. But it's clean enough. If you look at it real good, it's clean enough I can take it apart with no problem. The body has to be dipped and cleaned. It's got crap all over. I don't know what it is, but we'll get it all off there. And the main parts are here. Here's the hood. It's still got some stuff all over it too. Nothing else has been put together. Interior is perfectly clean. It looks like the glass is here, and we'll need a little polishing to get it nice and shiny again. Even the decals are here. I got to look at the real car again to see, but the decals are in really good shape. So, the iconic grille with well, that's the back bumper, I believe, yeah. It had the sequential taillights, kind of like in the Mustangs. That's the back grille. Where's the front grille? Oh, front grille's still in the tree. The iconic hideaway headlights. So, yeah, I'm glad I got this. For $10, I'd buy it all day long. This is, find out what the circa is here. It's AMT Ertl. A lot of you guys know right off the bat what the year was for all this. Has the Boss 302, 290 horsepower, and capabilities of producing up to 350 horsepower, which is quite a bit. There's got to be a year on this sucker somewhere. There always is. Oh, it's up here I can't see. 1991. This is the second time I've owned this kit. And I also have the other one, I had the Prestige kit, which is the one I was really looking for. But anytime you find those, and I think there's one other release with a different color box art. Those get a little bit pricey to obtain. So, for $10, I can't beat it. And then, like I always tell you guys, look for the deals. Okay, you're new to airbrushing, you're new to whatever, and you really want to go crazy. Shows are the best place to go find a body to practice on for very cheap prices. Instead of buying a kit and then you screw it up, or you keep stripping it, and you keep screwing it up. I'd rather screw up a practice body than the real body. Now, if you hit it out of the park the first time around, guess what? You're done. It's a good thing to practice your body work on all the imperfections, sanding, getting it smooth, priming it, wet sanding it, applying the paint. You got a new technique you want to try. These are all perfect for that. I picked this Dodge Revell. Now, I have this kit, and I've built this kit already once on the shelf. And in the display case, it's the brown Charger I showed you guys. It's a great kit. Easy to put together. I had no complications whatsoever. There was a little fitment issue when I married the chassis to the body, but I figured out what it was really quick, and I can't remember what it was, but I remember there was a little challenge there, but I easily overcame it. It was not a big deal. This kit, I think these guys, something was damaged or whatever, and they parted out the kit. I got all the kit chrome, the kit glass, the instructions, which I think the decals are inside there, which is great. I've not checked yet, but I got the body and the hood. So I've got the rear bumpers, the front bumpers, the glass, the body. There's no interior tub, which I've got enough scrap stuff to put together an interior tub, which would be scratch built, because I do have plans for this. It'll be a fully scratch built interior and a scratch built suspension. So I'm not worried about it not having that. But for $3, buy these all day long. There was a lot of other ones, but I didn't have nothing flowing through my head that said, ha. And I walked away from this once, and I turned around, came back, I was like, you know what? I've had that plan in my head for a while of doing this, and it's a replica, so it'll be built a certain way, but it's perfect because I don't have to worry about screwing up something that goes with the kit, because that's just a mental process I can't get myself out of, is trying to use everything in the kit and not waste anything, because would I ever use it again? Well, chances are I would, but you never know. This is perfect. So now I know I got a platform to work from. I'm not worried about practicing the paint job, as this is the perfect price for people to do that. I know what kind of paint. It's going to basically like a bare metal car. It's, the unfinished, and it's been clear coated, so it doesn't, it's not going to rust or anything. So that's, I got to paint the body like an aluminum color or a bare steel color, and then clear coat over that. And so it's another project, and hopefully I get to it. If not, I know I got a spare body when I go build the other one, because I do have this full kit, and I have plans for it. I love Dodge Chargers, absolutely love them. And the next we'll look at, every time I go to a show, they're always out of them, or they'll have one and not the other. And this is the way you have to buy them. So if you remember that brown Charger and the Charger I did for Jay's Miniscale Garage, the yellow Charger, it had Pegasus tires. These are the torque thrusts. Chrome, the T's is what they call it. That's for thrust. The 23s, and they had the 19s. So for two of these, $20, I got two sets of wheels. I'll use the 23s for the rear and the 19s or 20s for the front. And then I'll have an extra spare set to use for something else. So anytime I can find these, I buy them, just for that fact alone. You just can't beat it. They were there. I had the money. I bought it. Also, as I tell you guys, look for spare parts. By looking around, there was a little flat tree. I don't know what car this is from. Maybe some of you guys do. There's a number on here. I guess I could look it up. But I had a rear deck spoiler out of it and the front chin spoiler. Now, I can use this for a lot of things. I can put this on that Dodge Charger. I can put it on a Camaro. I can put it on a truck. You may have to modify it a little bit, but it takes a lot of the scratch building effort out of it, because now all I got to do is retrofit it to whatever I want it to. 50 cents. And, you know, that's 10 cents probably in actuality, but I got this all from the same guy. This is, I don't know what this is from. I kind of thought I did, but I don't think I do. But either way, got this whole chrome tree. I got a nice chrome transpan for if I ever use one. Front plate, rear plate for a blower. The blower is not on here, so apparently somebody used the blower and something else, whatever. A couple shocks. I'd say this is for like a 32 through a 34, maybe even in the 20s type kit. But I did get what I was looking for, and that was the engine plate. That's for J's on that. I've been looking for one. I thought I had one, but I didn't. I didn't want to bust open a kit that I know it's in and take away from that. So 50 cents. I got this whole tree. Got some rings. I got a nice steering wheel. Blower belt I'm never real tickled about because they look crappy. Got a shifter. So that looks like it's probably out of the 20s. Maybe a 27 T-bucket or something. Another little component here. I don't know what that is. I don't have my glasses on either. But definitely some, components. These little trim rings, they're great to use if you widen the wheel. Good to have for that. Windshield frame, it's intact, so I don't want to mess up. Then I have a chopped top or windshield frame. Another little part right here. It looks like a velocity stack. I don't know what it is. It's very well maybe what it is up here in this corner. If you guys are familiar with this chrome tree and what it goes to, just leave it down in the comments. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, I got that for 50 cents, so $1. And then, like I told you, my friend was there, also my club president and the owner of STS decals. These are for interiors. You cut out and make your seat inserts, even a headliner if you wanted to, the rear package tray, whatever you want to use it for. He makes really good decals. This is my second decal guy. It's not to say that he's just horrible. He's not. He makes great decals. I've used the decal ladies so long that it's like second nature to use her stuff. When she's super busy and can't get to me for a long time, I know Terry will take care of me pretty quick, and his are, high quality also. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with him. I didn't know he had aftermarket parts, so that kind of blew me away. Also, for the villain build coming up, I got that for the rear window. I'll just put this on the inside of the model backwards, and I will draw the window frame, trace around that and cut it, and then apply this to the rear glass once it's installed. That way we've got that. It's black and white. Truck's all murdered out, so it's going to look really good. Because I've not heard back from the owner, so therefore when I don't hear from an owner of a vehicle, I change the build a little bit so it's not identical without their permission. It's just me. I know a lot of guys don't really care. They just build it. They're fascinated with it. So on and so forth. And then I'll show you this first. Remember, I threw my hat into the ring for the appreciation build for Old Tom Rambler 69. That build to me is more significant than, I can't say it's more than other guys. Other guys know him equally, known him longer. He's just that great of a guy. The only thing I'm going to show you about the build, and it doesn't give anything away, is the decals I found to go on it. So that's all you guys are going to get. There's your teaser. Those are the decals I'll be using on his build. I'm not saying where they're going to go, how they're being applied, or anything like that, but I looked for about 45 minutes through decals, and these stood out to me. And when something stands out to me, then I get it, because I know it's fitting what I got going on in my head. I won't say what type of car it was, anything like that. So let's get through the rest of this stuff so we can get this video over with. Everybody's familiar with Slick's decals. They're high quality. They're amazing. I couldn't beat this. This is for radiators, valve covers, just tons of stuff that these decals can be used for. And I always like buying these to put in my arsenal, so when I do a build, I have a good variety to add for detail and, authenticity. the appearance. So there is that. Uh, so you get a goodie bag when you buy from him, like at a show. So I got nice flat brush for applicating decals, which is really cool. Nice to have, and I'll keep that separate. Then he gives you some license plates with STS on it, just little logo decals you can place on your build. That kind of promotes him a little bit and kind of dresses up your build also. So that's really cool to get that decal set. And the rest, guys, is going to be business cards. These are a lot of the great vendors where I got some of this stuff at. If you guys get a chance, check them out. Let's see. Which side is going to be the best side? Okay, we'll do this side, and then I'll show you the other side. Pause it, screenshot it, whatever you got to do, write it down. You can actually call them and talk to them, which is great. When you're looking for stuff, here's the back side of the card. Same way, pause it, freeze it, whatever you want. Tons of cool stuff. Just tons of cool stuff. STS decals. You guys need some decals made, custom made. He can go off pictures. You know, as long as you get the right measurements to him, he will duplicate it and replicate it. You know, pretty much on T. So his name's Terry Borchers is his name. Look him up on Facebook. I believe he's on Instagram also. He also has a YouTube channel from when he just kind of started out. That's, you know, like I do, showed videos. And definitely check him out. And, you know, get on his waiting list. I don't know how long it is. Oops, dropped something, guys. But well worth it. Well worth it. The other one, you guys may be familiar with him, but you can screenshot this, write his phone number down. You can also contact him via phone for any of your modeling needs or wants. Also with Terry, when you get your stuff, you got an application process. He prints it out for you, so you have it in black and white. I mean, pretty much everybody knows how to put a decal on, but, you know, everybody's stuff's different. Here's a how to order. You get this with your kit also. Kind of try to go slow. You guys can pause this and rewind it, whatever you need to do. It's also got the URL code. You can bring that up on your phone. If you want to pause, I'll get it a little closer. So there you go. And there's this phone number, this message system, Facebook information. I don't see an Instagram information on there, so maybe he's not on Instagram. I think he is. I'm not for sure, but I know he's on Facebook, and that's how you can get a hold of him also. So definitely check them out. Get you some cool decals. The rest of the stuff is just kind of crap. It's just paperwork, flyers for other shows that I might try to get to go to. Not sure yet. I'm going out of town for a week, so there won't be any videos this week. That's why this one is kind of long to show. Like I said, at the end of the video, stay tuned with a little slideshow of all the cars. Most of everything is Mike's. He is my friend. A little bias there. He does great work. So stay tuned for the show. This is Rusty Rotor. I'm out. Well, sorry guys. I had an important phone call. Rushed me there at the last second. I just backtrack a little bit. So yeah, that's everything that I got at the show via kit-wise, parts, decals, the hardware, the kits that won, or the builds that won, I should say. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please stay to the end. Watch to the end. You will see a slideshow of all the pictures. I didn't take any video. Everything kind of flowed really fast at the show and smooth too. So it's like by the time I set up, I got out to the vendors to look for what I wanted and needed. Started talking to everybody. I got a little lunch, took a break, and talked some more. Looked around, just shopping, kind of window shopping. I didn't get back into the room in time to do any video, and it was like a herd of cattle when they were done judging to get back in there so you can pack your stuff up. So I apologize for no video footage, but I do have a nice little slideshow at the end. You'll get to see some of the great builds of my friend Mike Williams, and there's a few other builds in there too. Some of the winners. And just overall a great thing. But for real good footage, go visit Tim at Throttle Power. Watch, he's got 2 videos, one for the vendors and one for the actual show. Great footage. You'll get a primary vision of everything that was on the tables, and the awards at the end, the trophies, how it's set up and presented to the audience before they start giving them away. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I can say. And big shout out to Dave. He does have a YouTube channel. I don't have it written down to give it to you. I thought I was subscribed because I watched a few of his videos and realized that I'm not even subscribed to his channel. So I did get subscribed to your channel, Dave, and I had a great time, buddy, hanging out with you and your friend, talking. I got to see your builds, which was awesome. I love to get to see other people's builds in person. That's why I always say send them to me via email. If you don't go to shows or anything, that way I get to see what you're doing. You're seeing what I'm doing, so same thing. Remember, 1,000 subs, the giveaway. Guys, I'm going to try one more time when I get back. Show you the merchandise, t-shirt. I do have a mug coming and a hat. A t-shirt is being made for my wife. So it was a combination of quite a few things for her to make it worth her while. That's why I say at least 10 t-shirt order, or 10 orders for a t-shirt. Then I can process that, and then as we grow, she'll be able to grow as far as the amount and easier and better ways to do it. But I like her work. That's why I want to stick with her instead of going with somebody like Teesprings. It's a simple process. Use PayPal. You'll be able to track it. You'll be able to keep up with it. Get your refund if you're not happy. All that stuff. So it's just an easier process. So if you're interested and you go back and look at the video where it's got merch, you'll be able to see the t-shirt. The colors are black, white, gray, and pink. And then accordingly, the color of print to match that. So pretty much on gray would be, you could do white, but it wouldn't show up that well. So black, pink, you could do white or black. Black, you do white. And I think that's the only colors that are available right now. But they are a great shirt. If you don't believe me, ask Dave if you know him. I can't even remember his last name off the top of my head. I had it written down, but I'm downstairs, and all that information is upstairs. So I apologize, Dave. I'll shout you out again with your channel and full name. But he sold the t-shirt. I had it on at the show. As proof, it's a great t-shirt. The material's soft. It's not as soft as this one, but it's a soft t-shirt. Fits really good, especially if you're a man and, as far as, your body build and everything else like that. It's a really good t-shirt. It's extra long, so it's not going to shrink up. But when you wash them, you want to wash them inside out just to protect the print on them. And just a great overall t-shirt with a pocket. I know a lot of us out here, we're either dippers or smokers, or you're constantly putting stuff in your pockets. It's just a nice little feature on a shirt to have as a pocket. So email me, let me know about that if you're interested in that. If not, it's just botched. It'll be done. I'm just trying to be creative and come up with ways that may, bring a few dollars to the channel to bring in bigger, better things to view as far as content. If not, it's just still balling on a budget. Never going to get rich at this hobby, guys. Never going to get rich. And I know that going into it. I'm just trying to make enough to keep my hobby afloat without taking away from my own pocket. You guys out there that do make videos, the effort and the process that goes into these things. Mine aren't as good as some. Mine aren't as bad as others. Everybody's different in how they do it, and I'm limited to my technicality of technical items. And hopefully I get better as we go. But we are been on here for over a year, still working with that. I need to shoot some more footage for that video to come out. So be looking for it, and the way you do that is you subscribe, because it doesn't cost you nothing. You hit the little bell notification. It'll let you know when the video comes out. Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment. If you want to communicate more, my email is always down there. Shoot me an email. We can We can communicate via that way. All my sponsors are always listed down below in the descriptions. Go check them out. Do a little window shopping. If you can, pick something up. Those do not benefit me at all. It just keeps them sending things to the channel for us to review. And, you know, you get technical, it's nickel, dime, penny. It's not as lustrous as it was when we were with Hobby Nut Models. We're still affiliated with Hobby Nut Models. His link is always down below. Go check him out. Pick you up a little something. That accumulates to cover shipping when I make an order from him. So that's really all it does. It's not financially gaining for me in any way, shape, or form. The t-shirts are, but only in the form of putting back into the hobby. Because then we're only talking a few dollars on whatever, $10, $15, $20. We're not talking big time money. Maybe out of one order, I could probably buy a kit and cover shipping. That's the nature of it. So I say I'm not going to get rich by this. Nobody's getting rich by it. But if I can do something like that to bring great content to you guys, and you get something in return, which is a high quality t-shirt and a little bragging there on Rusty Rotor when you go out and about, that's what it gets. It gets the word spread out. Maybe somebody will say, hey, what's that Rusty Rotor? What's that about? And you tell them, hey, it's a YouTube channel. I follow them. You know, go check it out. It's enjoyable. It's informative. Whatever you want to use. He's a piece of crap, and he doesn't do. I don't care. But I'm only going to offer it for maybe another couple weeks, and then we'll squash it. It's just, you know, I just trying to think of things, guys, to keep this really going good and keeping it fresh and new. I can only do so much balling on a budget. We've pretty much covered all that. So as far as something new, it's only if I have the money to go buy new. Oh, and speaking of new, I was a big dummy, and I didn't get on the list when they were coming out. But there's a lady there that had them. And this is basically the fourth kit, 3.5, what do you want to call it? The new release of the 71 Mustang, Boss 351. All new tooling. This is a great kit, guys. I've been looking forward to this one. It's one of my favorite Mustangs. And, you know, it'll be resto modded, but something keeps pulling to me to do this one box stock. I don't know. If I resto mod it, a set of these Pegasus wheels will go on it, probably, or another set of maybe Ryan Jones's wheels, possibly more likely that. I may save it for something else, but a nice addition to my Mustang collection. Mustangs and Corvettes and Camaros, Trans Ams. Those are primarily my four that I look to seek out every year that they're made, and as far as the model goes and released. Not just different box art. It's the kit itself. Even though this has probably been replicated, I don't know how many times, how many re-releases. This is all new tooling, so I know I got a brand new model here. So I know it's going to be great condition. Very little work to do to get it to where I want it. And how far I modify it is yet to be seen. I do love that box art. Clean silver with black highlights and trim. The stock wheels. You know, there's the thing. We may do an open box review of this. It's been done already, so it's kind of hard. They don't really give you much on the back. But it's a beautiful kit. It's all sealed. It's brand new. I paid $27 for this. Now, you say, oh, wow. You know, you could have got... Well, yeah, I could have gone to Hobby Lobby if and when they get it and paid, got 40% off $29, which would have been okay. I could have bought it online and then paid shipping and paid about $32 to $34 for it. Or I picked it up in person and only paid $27 for it. So, at the end of the day, when you're balling on a budget, you save your money for the things you want or the things you need and that you got to pay the price for. Point in case. So, again, the phone call and it rushed me out. I get flabbergasted sometimes, and it's the OCD and anxiety in me doing that crap. But sorry for being all over the place, but I wanted to cover a lot because I'm going to be a week without anything on here. Just kind of get you guys posted because you knew I was going to the show. Who won, what won, some pictures from the show. and what I brought home, my haul from the show. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments. Again, the tribute build for Old Tom Rambler 69 will not be televised, I guess. It will not be videoed. You will see it only after he sees it. And figure out a method of if I'm going to. I don't think I'll have it done in time to go to Acme, which I would wish I could, but I don't think I will. And then I'm sure he'll do some kind of video on it once he receives it. I just don't want to give it away. He's a friend that kind of came out of nowhere, kind of when you needed a friend, type thing. So to me, it's a little bit more personal, and I want to put a little more effort into it and work, and then I'll send it to him if I can't give it to him in person. And I want him to be the recipient of the first viewing of it. You got a little teaser. Hope that salivates you to stay tuned. When I do get it done, after he has seen it, then I will do a video on it, everything that I've done to it, the reasoning behind it, all that kind of stuff. I'm twisted up here. You never know what I'm going to do. And these three speak loudly of that. Well, all four of them actually. The detail. I cannot hardly build a model without putting some kind of detail in it. It's just, it beats me in the back of the head. I love to do a box stock because that brings me back to the days of being a kid. But I only pull off maybe one of those a year. If I'm lucky, I haven't even done one this year. Well, yeah, I did. Other than the tires and wheels. That's the second place giveaway. The little Ford or Mercury Comet. That's primarily a box stock build. And that was a blast. I had a good time building. It was fun. I got to incorporate a couple little things into it. And it's a cool build that I didn't sentimentally get attached to it to where it'd be hard for me to give it away. And what better thing to give away is something that I built, had fun building. It turned out really decent. Is it flawless? No. But it's something I built, and hopefully when you guys win it and you cherish it, and it brings some inspiration to you some way. So with that being said, I've drug this out way too long, as usual. I apologize always, but it was a lot of content to get out there to make up for not being here next week. I would have probably broke this up into 2 videos. So with that being said, you guys have a great week. I will be back next week, sometime in the week, midweek. I'll do a video, and we'll get you caught up to where we're at on the Corvette and on Jay's. Jay's is, by the way, in primer. I'll show you that real quick. Final primer coat's been put on it. It just needs wet sanded, and it will go to paint. And it's getting painted MCW red enamel, 2K clear. We're using the factory stripes, black. Remember, the wheels are all murdered out. I got to get clear coat on the wheels. And, yeah, we're ready to start getting some of the assemblies done on the chassis. So we're getting close to that 50% mark on it. And then it's time for all the really high difficult detail, which is all the wiring, plumbing, and all that, happy headaches and want to throw it across the room stuff. Again, I talk a lot. I apologize for that. I know a lot of you don't want to hear about all that, but you got to see some good builds, the hardware. We're at with Corvette, where we're at with Jay's. The other stuff's not going to matter. As just like anybody else, I have a revolving chamber in my head that always comes up with a new idea, and we want to start something new. And it's hard to break away from that. And then the result is you got 100 unfinished kits. We don't want that. We're trying to stay focused and finish what we have before we start something new, which is very difficult, but we will somehow achieve a good portion of that. Anyways. My sister. I'll show you. It's too hard to explain. Right there. My loving sister yesterday for the birthday party, and she brought me a bunch of styrofoam. I like to keep hold of that kind of stuff for dioramas and ideas I have in my head. It's a great base to work with. Use a heat knife or whatever you want to call it, and shape and sculpt it. It's great layering to be able to do that without having to go out and buy a big chunk of styrofoam. So she was looking out for me. So thank you to my sister Kim. for that. And that's it, guys. Enjoy your week. We'll see you next week. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Drop me an email. Go check out Mark at Hobby Minute Models. He's always got new releases. He's got a lot of great stuff in stock right now. Paints, tools, you name it, he's got it, or can get it. Ryan Jones at Z-Force Model Works and MGSF for modelers. Those great, fantastic little parts we're being getting. You know, tire valves, key ignitions, the door lock tumblers, trunk lock tumblers, the racing center. It's got a name, I can't remember. The nut that goes over and holds the wheel to the spindle. And just be watching, and I'll be adapting that stuff into these builds. I promised him every build I did, I would adapt his merchandise into the build somehow, some way. And I will, and I have been so far. I got some other things on the Corvette, but I'll save that for the next time because we've run too long here. But I'm going to get out of here. Again, guys, thank you to all my past, present, and future subscribers. Without you, I would just be building and probably posting on Instagram. And I still do that, but that's just probably where I'd be. I got a lot of great friends, a lot of comrades, whatever you want to call them, on Instagram, and I stay in touch with them, and I still post on there. So if you guys get a chance, you can go on Instagram. You can see from where I started back, from my first builds all the way up. You just got to go back through my page. There's a lot of great builds on there that I've not been able to bring to YouTube. A lot of them that were commission builds that I don't own, that you can see how I built it from the beginning to the end. So I urge you to go check out all that. You can go on Facebook and find me. Also, I don't post on Facebook, but there is some older posts where I posted some stuff, my original builds, when I started back into the hobby, that are on Facebook. So by all means, check them out. It's Rick Wykoff when you go on Facebook. Instagram is Rusty Rotors Model Car Garage. YouTube is Rusty Rotors Model Car Garage. I think on Instagram it's Rusty Rotors, or Rusty _ Rotor, or Rusty Rotor _ Model Car Garage. One of the two, you'll find me. You can use my name too. And if you got any questions, guys, let me know. That's it. Peace. I'm out.